morning and a very warm welcome. You're watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Sushant Akal. The top stories first. Active cases of coronavirus declining across the country. Daily infection still remains high. Government preparing to ease visa processing for tourists. Bill to amend immigration laws currently under discussion. Transparency International says corruption remains a major problem in Asia. Survey finds 1 in 5 respondents paid a bribe to get essential service. Global coronavirus cases surpass 60 million. Data show new infections picking up pace globally. And football legend Maradona passes away. Argentina announces 3 days of mourning. And now the news in detail. The government yesterday confirmed 1,948 new cases of coronavirus across the country. Following the latest round of tests, the total cases of coronavirus in the country has climbed to 226,026, while the number of active cases has dropped to 16,639 from the overnight tally of 17,859. The number of active cases of coronavirus is declining since the past few days, despite a rise in daily infections, thanks to the high recovery rate in Nepal. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, altogether 207,998 infected persons have recovered from the disease in the country so far. The death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 1,389 across the country, with a confirmation of 28 new casualties yesterday. Nepal is currently among the top 37 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The government is preparing to ease visa processing for foreigners visiting Nepal on tourist visas. The government has proposed changing the existing provisions in visa application process in order to facilitate the visitors. Home Minister Ram Bahadur Thapa said during a House committee meeting yesterday that the government is preparing to hand over the responsibilities of collection of visa applications, documents to certain companies or institutions selected by the government. The selected company will facilitate the government in visa processing, and this will boost the tourism sector, informed Minister Thapa.
विकास गर्ने भन्ने जुन राष्ट्रिय लक्ष्य राखिएको छ त्यसलाई प्राप्त गर्नेको एउटा आधार चाहिँ भनेको यहाँ पर्यटन पनि भिजा दिने जुन अहिलेसम्मको जुन प्रक्रियामा छ सरकारको तर्फबाट जुन ढङ्गले गएको छ त्यसमा धेरै चाहिँ ढिलासुस्ती हुने र चाहिँ जुन पर्यटकहरू आउने चाहिँ कुराहरू पनि ढिलासुस्ती हुने चाहिँ त्यसकारणले यसलाई अलि तीव्र बनाउने र यसलाई सहज गर्ने.
The bill to amend and integrate the immigration laws is currently under discussion. The government made an attempt to revise the laws upon the request from the stakeholders. A report released by Transparency International on Tuesday reveals that citizens across 17 countries in Asia report stagnant or rising level of corruption, undermining equitable access to public services and trust in government. The report, Global Corruption Barometer Asia, has found that 3/4 of respondents believe that government corruption is a big problem in their country, Transparency International said in a statement. According to the anti-corruption watchdog, nearly 1 in 5 people, or 19%, said they paid a bribe when accessing public services in the previous year. This is equivalent to about 836 million people, TI said in a statement. The figure is more alarming in Nepal, with 84% respondents accusing the government of corruption. In addition to bribery, the use of personal connections to access public services is also prevalent across Asia, the report states. Age is another important factor, says the report. Young people aged 18 to 34 are more likely to pay a bribe or use personal connections than any other age group. Devotees across the country are observing Haribodhini Ekadasi festival in Nepal today. People from the Hindu religion worship the tulsi plant on this day, not only for its medicinal properties but also because of the myth related with it. It is believed that Lord Vishnu, the protector of the world, married the tulsi plant, and the act is repeated by the devotees on this day. Legend has it that Lord Vishnu wakes up from his slumber after 4 months on this day. During the 4 months when the god is asleep, no marriage or auspicious ceremony takes place as per the Hindu tradition. The preservation of tulsi plant also holds significance from the scientific point of view, as the plant is proven to have medicinal values. Protests continued in different areas of Mahottari district throughout yesterday against the rape and murder of a 6-year-old child on Sunday. The agitated locals demonstrated in Bardibas, Jaleshwar and Samsi of Mahottari throughout the day. The demonstrators have demanded for proper compensation to the family of the deceased child. They've also demanded Sanjay Neupane, who died due to police firing in protest, to be declared martyr by the state. Protesters had discarded the prohibitory order enforced by the District Administration Office, Mahottari, and taken to the streets for protest. The infuriated protesters had also set fire to effigy of Bardibas's DAO, Bidur Kumar Karki, and area police office's DSP, Rajan Chapagai. The body of a 6-year-old child abducted on Sunday evening was found on Monday inside a rice sack. Police has already appended Arun Kumar Shah of Gausala Municipality 5 for the murder and the rape of the child. Shah has confessed to the killing. Agitation has been escalating after a 6-year-old girl was raped and murdered in Bardibas of Mahottari district. The number of rape cases is increasing every year in Nepal. Based on the statistics of the current fiscal year, an average of 8 rape cases have been reported daily. Gulbasa Khatun, 6 of Bardibas Municipality, 14 of Mahottari, was killed after being raped on Sunday. Police have arrested 25-year-old Arun Kumar Shah on charge of killing the girl. Rape cases are on the rise in Nepal every year. The case total in 2015-16 was 1,093, 16-17 it was 1,137, 17-18 it was 1,480, in 2018-19 it was 2,233, in 2019-20 it was 2,144, while in 2020-21 that number is set to surpass. After just 3 months, the total is already 700. Based on the Bob's statistics, there are at least 6 incidents of rape every day in Nepal, but in the first 3 months of the current fiscal year, the number has increased to 8 incidents of rape daily. According to the police, most of the recent rape cases have been perpetrated by locals, family members, relatives and acquaintances. Most of the incidents reported to the police are of young girls, adolescents and vulnerable women. The murder of Nirmala Panta, a 13-year-old girl from Kanchanpur on July 26, 2018, and the recent increase in rape cases have led to the demand for the death penalty of the rapists. Minister for Drinking Water, Beena Magar, yesterday said it is important to observe the preaching of 16 days activism against gender-based violence for societal change. Inaugurating the 16 days campaign against gender-based violence organized by Punarwas Municipality, Kanchanpur, Minister Magar said the campaign should not be limited to simple official program and reach rural areas and villages to end violence against women from its roots.
हाम्रो गाउँ बस्ती समाजमा रहेका विकृतिहरूको अन्त्यको एउटा महान अभियानमा सहभागी हुनेछ र यसले सानो घेरा होइन कि फराकिलो घेरा निर्माण गर्दै हाम्रो समाज रूपान्तरणको लैंगिक हिंसा सहितका अन्य हिंसाहरू अन्य विभेदहरूको अन्त्यको महाअभियानमा हाम्रो गाउँ बस्तीलाई सामेल गराउन नेतृत्वज्यूहरू सफल हुनुहुनेछ भन्ने विश्वास मैले लिएको छु।
Minister Magar opined the activism should work for building structural changes in the society and work to achieve such enthusiastic environment. The 16 days campaign takes place every year in order to mitigate violence against women. And now the news from the economic front. Chandragiri Hills Limited is going to issue shares to the general public affected by the construction of the project from November 30th. In the first phase, the company is going to issue 36,819 shares at the rate of Rs 100 per share for the residents of the project affected areas. One has to apply for a minimum of 10 lots and can only apply for a maximum of 3,060 lots in the company's shares. Residents of Chandragiri Municipality Ward number 3, 4, 6 and 7 as well as Taha Municipality 9 and 10 of Makwanpur and Indra Sarovar Municipality Ward number 5 will be able to take benefits from this public offering. Applications for the company's shares can be submitted till January 1st. Chandragiri Hills will issue a total of 1.84 million shares to locals and general public. Locals can apply through designated banks from among the banks at their respective local levels. After selling primary shares for the affected areas, the company will sell shares to the public. Global IME Capital will act as the sales manager. The global tally of confirmed coronavirus cases hit 60 million on Wednesday, Reuters reported. According to the news agency, the pace of new infections has been accelerating, and the United States, which reported record numbers of hospitalizations. Officials in the United States, the worst affected country in the world, urged Americans to stay home for the imminent Thanksgiving holiday as soaring numbers of COVID-19 patients pushed medical professionals to the brink. The United States has reported 1 million new COVID-19 cases in less than a week, taking its total reported infections to over 12.5 million. The death toll in the United States has jumped to 260,000, according to the Reuters data based on official statements. Globally, infections stood at 60.005 million and deaths at 1.4 million. An analysis of the Reuters data showed the rate of new infections picking up globally. It took just 17 days to go from 50 million cases to 60 million, compared with the 21 days it took to go from 40 million to 50 million. Around 580,000 cases have been reported each day over the past week, and around half of all the cases since the start of the pandemic were reported over the past 70 days. India's ruling Hindu Nationalist Party approved a decree in Uttar Pradesh on Tuesday laying out prison terms for anyone compelling others to convert their faith or luring them into these conversions through marriage. According to Reuters, the move follows a campaign by hardline Hindu groups against some interfaith marriages that they describe as love jihad. They believe that Muslim men engage in a conspiracy to turn Hindu women away from their religion by seducing them. Critics said the unlawful conversion order approved by the cabinet of Uttar Pradesh, run by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's BJP, was aimed at further alienating India's 170 million Muslims by painting them as aggressors plotting to weaken Hindus. Little data exists to show how many interfaith marriages took place in the state, the first in the country to bring in such legislation. Uttar Pradesh Cabinet Minister Siddharth Nath Singh said prison terms for up to 5 years were necessary to stop unlawful conversions and provide justice to women who have suffered from them. Hindus make up 80% of India's 1.3 billion population. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Diego Maradona, widely regarded as one of the greatest football players of all time, died on Wednesday at his home in Argentina after suffering a heart attack. He was 60 years old. Beloved in his homeland after leading Argentina to World Cup glory in 1986 and cherished in Italy for taking Napoli to 2 Serie A titles, Maradona was a uniquely gifted player who rose from the tough streets of Buenos Aires to reach the pinnacle of his sport. According to Reuters, Maradona had recently battled health issues and underwent emergency surgery for a subdural hematoma several weeks ago. He suffered a heart attack at his home on the outskirts of Buenos Aires on Wednesday, the news agency reported, citing acquaintances of the former player. Reuters said his death was confirmed by his lawyer. In Buenos Aires, people began pouring on into the streets to mourn the nation's favorite son, gathering in San Andreas neighborhood where he lived. The Argentine government has declared 3 days of mourning. Serie A club Atalanta scored twice to beat English giants Liverpool FC by 2-0 at Anfield today. Atalanta fired 2 goals within 4 minutes to surprise Liverpool, blowing qualifications from Champions League Group D wide open, BBC reported. Joseph Illich broke the deadlock for the Serie A side in the 60th minute before Robin Gosens doubled their lead at 64 minutes as Liverpool suffered an off night. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp did make 4 substitutions in order to fix the game, but could not prevent an injury-prone Liverpool from suffering their first defeat inside 90 minutes since September 2018. The Reds, however, still remain at the top of Group D and need 1 win from their final 2 games at home to Ajax and away to Midtjylland to qualify in the knockout stage. Meanwhile, Manchester City have qualified for the knockout rounds of the Champions League for the 8th successive season. Phil Foden's first-half strike was enough to defeat Olympiacos 1-0 for the Pep Guardiola's side. Pep Guardiola's side are unbeaten in 15 group games, having won all 4 this season. We're at the end of Janata Bulletin. The headlines once again. Active cases of coronavirus declining across the country. Daily infections still remains high. Government preparing to ease visa processing for tourists. Bill to amend immigration laws currently under discussion. Transparency International says corruption remains a major problem in Asia. Survey finds 1 in 5 respondents paid a bribe to get essential services. Global coronavirus cases surpass 60 million. Data show new infections picking up pace globally. And football legend Maradona passes away. Argentina announces 3 days of mourning. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.